Hey all, now we meet again on this video. Our topic, this is about planning the lessons. Okay, what is the functions of planning the lesson? The first one is to be able to looking at the level of our students and then providing the materials to our students by applying the needs analysis. And the next one is teaching every day in our classroom. And the next one is teaching the lesson to the students. And the next one is about knowing the level of our students and then introducing new concept of learning, especially and new materials to our students. And the next one is drawing up our lessons. And then before explaining more about the concept of these educations, okay, the first one is by knowing about the level of educational system in Indonesia. Okay, there is kindergarten level, and the next one is primary level, and then next one is junior high school level, secondary level, and college. Okay, in the kindergarten level, okay, especially in teaching English, started from how to introduce the phonics, and the next one is vocabulary and etc. So the English teachers try to invite all the students to present the materials related to the vocabulary. It could be like color, transportations, and etc. And for pre-intermediate level, okay, about the grammar, about the vocabularies, it could be for grammar, this is about the tenses, okay, maybe a simple present tense, past tense, and etc. And for vocabulary is about hobbies. For example, my hobbies are to swim or to read all the books. And the next one is for intermediate level. For example, on the grammar system, this is about the if conditionals. And the next one is for vocabulary, like the polite, okay, polite expressions. For example, if you don't mind, okay, if you don't mind to give your books to me. Okay, the next one is upper intermediates. Okay, for the grammar, about the speech report. For example, she said that she went to the house. And the next one is for vocabularies. This is about the media, especially for ICT system or information and communication technology. There are many vocabularies, okay, introduced to our students about the gadgets, computer, printer, and etc. So nowadays, because in the digital era, so there are many new vocabularies related to the technology or information communication technology. And the next one is for advanced grammar. Okay, for advanced grammar, the first one is about how to introduce prefix and suffix. So prefix, for example, employee, okay, unemployed, or maybe beautiful. For suffix, beautiful becomes beautifully. Okay, and the next one is for keeping things relevant. Okay, the first one is by knowing about the grade of our students. Okay, it's impossible for us, okay, if you are going to teach English, especially about the report speech, but your students are kindergarten level. So how comes you are able to teach all your students? Because this is the essence of the learning, so you must be able to grade all the students. Okay, for kindergarten, generally the materials are vocabularies. Yeah, the vocabularies can be divided into some forms of the aspects like transportations, about the animals, and etc. Okay, and the next one is getting into. Okay, getting into, it means that you are going to represent, you are going to invite your students to know more about the concept of learning, to know more about the materials. And the next one is about setting aims and objectives. Okay, the first one is what is aim, and the next one is about what is objectives. Okay, aims, it means you are going to invite your students how to do something, okay, how to provide, how to know more about it, etc. But for aim, goals, okay, goals, it means objectives. Okay, you try to invite all your students how to master one skills. Okay, if you are going to teach simple present tense, okay, the objectives is how to make your students can be able to understand about how to master their formula. Okay, for simple present tense into the verbal form, the first one is subject plus verb 1, okay, and the next one is plus object or complement. So this is the formula for simple present tense, simple present tense. And how about for simple present tense into the nominal form. The first one is subject plus auxiliary verbs into to be, and the next one is plus object or complement. Okay, and the next one is about getting your times and planning for interactions. Okay, about the teaching. Okay, if you are going to teach about the vocabulary, so there is a target for us how to introduce, how to teach, for example, vocabularies on the colors, transportation, etc. So this is about our ability to design the course design. Okay, maybe to teach some things. Okay, it needs maybe 3 meetings. Okay, one meeting consists of 45 minutes. Okay, this is the target that the teacher try to give to all the students. And the next one is about assembling presentations. Okay, assembling presentations, for example, if you invite your students to speak up, okay, to get or maybe to master the speaking ability, one of the examples is about the introduction. So your students must be able to introduce each one, okay, maybe, or to introduce his or her friends, or maybe to introduce him or herself. So we are going to invite them to stand up in the front of the class, and the next one they must be able to practice, and later on they will be able to speak English well. And the next one is about how to analyze things. Okay, before it, this is about the introductions. Okay, the introductions is we must be able to know more about the needs or the interests of the students. So by knowing about the needs and interests of the students, we can bring the new situations or the new concepts to our students, so they don't feel bored or they don't feel boring. So we invite them to understand or maybe to get into our systems of learning. And the next one is about analyzing the point. So analyzing the points, it means we try to invite all the students how to criticize. Okay, how to criticize, how to know more is by making the notifications. It could be written down on the whiteboard or maybe on a piece of paper. So we invite them to be active in the learning process. And the next one is about trailing the language. Okay, what is the trailing of language? It means that we need to set up the activity for our students, so it requires the students can be focused on our learning process. So they will be comfortable, they will be interested in our sessions, and etc. Because learning English, in Indonesia, English is still a foreign language. It's very different than in Malaysia and Singapore. Malaysia and Singapore already or have been making English as a second language. Okay, so it's very different how to teach English in Malaysia or Singapore and teaching English in Indonesia. So by knowing the context, by knowing the situations, we will be able to present, we will be able to teach the materials to our students. So later on, they will be interested with all the materials we teach to them. And the next one is about giving our students the practice. So in the end of the learnings, okay, in the end of the learning process, we invite our students, okay, to do or to conduct the test. Okay, from the test, for example, we give the reading comprehension test. Okay, so into the written test, we give maybe 10 questions. Okay, into the multiple choice. Okay, we give the task. Okay, and the next one they do it, and then we collect it and then analyze about their performance. Okay, how to do reading comprehensions, and by taking the results, okay, we know more about the success or the failure of the students in understandings about the reading comprehension. So I think it depends on the topic, because generally English consists of 4 skills: reading, speaking, listening, and writing. So different type of tasks will be introduced to our students. So for speaking, okay, we invite them to speak up. So there are many criteria how to give the score to our students for speaking. For example, about pronunciations, about the dialect, about intonation, and etc. So I think it's not very easy for us to design or maybe to planning the lessons, because a good results of learning activities started from the lessons. Okay, the lesson, it means we try to manage our time we try to manage the materials, we try to manage the method. So because in the lesson, if you are a candidate of teacher or maybe English teacher, okay, before you teach some things, okay, you must be able to have lesson plan. So because the lesson plans, this is about frames, okay, how to do, okay, how to give, how to make it, or maybe how to know more, because in the end of the learning process is reflection. So by knowing the results of activity, we will be able to measure our performance or our students' performance, because the failure doesn't come only from the students, but maybe it depends on the teacher. Why? For example, there is a materials, but your style how to teach the material is not very appropriate. So maybe the topic is about A, but you explain it's about the B. So it doesn't have the correlations how to teach A and B. And the next one is about stopping out the spotlights, okay? Our students must be signed. The first one is that we give our students more times. They must be active. So teacher talking time must be less because we focus on the students. Okay, the students. So the students must be active, like the concept of student center, not the teacher center. Because a teacher is like the supervisor. Okay, you have the topic and then give the students. Okay, and then the students try to do it. But if there is no unclear situations or maybe unclear material, they can ask us, or maybe they can ask you, because the responsibility of the students is the teacher. Okay, must be able to explain. They must be able to supervise. They must be able to do more about how to make sure students can understand English easily. So please underline that the success of the learning process is by starting from the lesson plan or by planning the lessons, because your plan, okay, your plan will get the result, or maybe your result depends on your plan. By understanding the concept of planning, okay, it can help you to make your learning process run well. I think that's all for today about the planning the lessons. See you for another video. Good evening.